What's up, Convoy? Back again with the most knowledgeable truck driver on YouTube. I'm gonna need a damn haircut pretty soon, or I'm gonna need the most damn knowledgeable barber in all of fucking Michigan. But anyway, alright, so I'm still parked there at this shithole, the Detroiter. Never did move my truck to another spot, so I'm gonna take care of this sometime or another. It's pissing me off. Gotta pay fucking money to get out of here. But I'm still, from the last video, I still have that Twinsburg load on me. I did not work Saturday. Like I said, I made the executive decision to run it today. It's about 2 p.m. Took my time this morning, got to my truck, and I'm going to run it over there, and then I'm going to try to find a load coming back to Michigan, probably to Highland Park or Belleville or even maybe Detroit. It's kind of rare to find a load into Detroit. Try to find something that gets me back home tonight, because I didn't go to the gym this morning, and I've been neglecting the gym a little bit this last week. I only went one time, so I need to get back on that bandwagon. Need to keep them strength gains. But from where I'm at down to Twinsburg is only about 170 miles. So it should be pretty easy. Just go down I-75 from where I'm at to 280 to I-80 to, what is that, fucking 480 down there on into Twinsburg. So it's pretty simple ass fucking ride. I love these Twinsburg loads. They're really simple, quick, and easy. And then we'll see. Hopefully they have something coming back to Michigan. If not, probably just deadhead back home. Because I'll most likely have a load coming out of Detroit tomorrow at some point. So today should be a pretty fucking easy day. Like I said, I'm already loaded right now. Loaded this on Friday. Then it's a drop and hook on the other end. And if there is a Michigan freight coming back, that's always preloaded. You don't have to wait around for it, which is always beautiful. So I don't want to get home too damn late. So I'm going to stick her into gear and get her down the road. Alright, she got a nice 75 here. Making my way down to Twinsburg, Ohio. Now, those of you who've been following along here, I've just started kind of re-uploading, well, not re-uploading, uploading videos this last week or so. I took a pretty lengthy break, a little hiatus from YouTube for a while, just a video here and there every now and again. But, you know, I think I'm back this time, as it stands. Like I said, no promises on daily videos or, you know, because I think we both know how that ends. You know, for those who've been following along at least. I've said about at least 24 times I was going to start doing daily vlogs and shit, and it never fucking works out. So, just for those watching now, we're following along. More videos are coming. No promises on when or any shit like that. So just stay tuned. That's all I can say. Just stay tuned. But anyway, along with me uploading these videos here, I'm starting to see some of the old-timer hate, the hate from back when I was on 2020 and the ugly truth of trucking and all that stuff. And I know there's a lot of people new to the channel. If you're new, you want to know what the hell I'm talking about, I'll leave a link to the video called The Ugly Truth of Trucking that I made. I put out there when I was with a trucking company called K&B. And oh, no one's gonna let me over. Beautiful. Oh, there it is. Thank you, people. But anyways, yeah, no, I made a video when I was with a company called K&B, and it kind of blew up and went as far. I mean, I was on an episode of 2020 and magazines and talk shows, radio, all kind of shit. I'll leave a link to that video down in the description in case you want to know what the fuck I'm talking about. But, no, I think it's funny because I've seen some of the hate comments come back from that era in my YouTube. And, those are the same people that said that.
Attention, a new important message has arrived.
Ain't that important. But no, those are the same people back then, because what had happened was I made that video and I did. That company I worked for looked like a fucking jackass because they were basically telling me, I told them I was not able to continue driving because I was tired, and they told me, we don't care, keep fucking going, we're gonna hurt your paycheck and all this shit. Anyway, so then I got pissed off, and then it happened, the same thing happened pretty much a couple weeks later. So I said, fuck it, I took home time, I abandoned their truck, and I went home. Then I even took 6 months off of trucking. And Now, a lot of those people said, oh, his career is done. He ain't never going to fucking drive again in his life. All that shit he put out on social media, abandoned the truck, blah, 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 took 6 months off. He's done with trucking. Then I come back, and I pretty much have done whatever the fuck I want to do in the industry. You know, I've come back. I went to the oil field. I even, because, that's right. I came back. I was a mechanic for like 6 months. And I came back right away when I came back to trucking. I went to the oil field, pulling frac sand around. I only did that for a couple weeks, and then I got fired from that because I did an interview, the interview for 2020. And the company that I worked for there, they were like, oh man, you know, they were real weird because fracking is a big controversial thing, and the national news cameras and shit were around me. They just got real weird shit. And I worked for an owner-operator who was leased to a company, and the guy who owned the truck was a great dude. And I was like, fuck it, we don't got to fight this. You know, I don't want to ruin your relationship with the company that he had his trucks leased onto, and I was working for him, you know. So I said, fuck it, I'll come back OTR. Came back OTR, was with it was a decent company for 6 weeks. I liked the company and everything. It just didn't pay enough, and they didn't really offer what I was looking for in the industry. So I quit that place, and I came to this company that I'm currently working for. And then I was OTR for 3 months, and then now for the last year, I've been on this dedicated route and absolutely fucking loving it. And I have well, besides getting fired in the oil field, but up until then, I had never done anything like that. And I came back after 6 months, giving that a shot, got hired in, got fired from there, and then I went to another company, quit there, came to another company, did OTR, said fuck it, made a phone call to our recruiters here, and I said, hey, I want to be home more. And they said, well, we got regional, you get home every couple weeks on the weekend. And I said, no, I want something a little more often home time, you know. Maybe I don't have to be home every single day, but every once in a while throughout the week and the weekends or something. And then I heard about the Coke account that I'm currently on. And I said, that's a great fucking fit. Sounds like I would fucking love that. So I called back and I asked about it, and they're like, oh man, literally today we had one truck, one guy quit. We need another truck on the account. And I got on it. Like I said, I've been loving it ever since. Not even thinking about going anywhere else. And a lot of these old-timey haters, I know, are just fucking hating it because they kept calling my demise in the industry about how I'd never, especially with that abandonment. There's other even YouTubers that were like, it's the worst thing you could ever do is abandon a truck. Fuck no, it ain't. Hell to the fucking no. It's not the worst thing you can do. And would I do it again? Fuck yeah, I'd do it again. Now, not for some bullshit reason like, oh, I'm not getting enough miles, or my fucking dispatcher is just a dickhead or something like that. I abandoned K&B's truck because to return it, I'd have had to go to Iowa. I live in Michigan, and then I'm gonna inquire expense to get back home. You know, plus all the hassle of all the other both just turning the truck in and getting back home, find a new company. So I said, fuck it. I had a new job lined up at home. That's when I stopped trucking as a mechanic. So I said, fuck it. I parked the truck, cleaned all my shit out. Oh yeah, and I said, would I do it again? Yeah, I would. If I truly felt a company was a dickhead and they didn't give a fuck about as me as a driver, you know, they cared more about money or whatever it was, but they're just the absolute one of the worst scumbag companies out there. Yeah, I'd fucking turn I would not turn their truck back in. I wouldn't damage it. I'm not, definitely in no way, shape, or form am I an advocate of like shitting in the truck or pissing in the dash or down the fence or nothing. But I'm not going to inconvenience myself for a fucking company that doesn't deserve it. Now, like if I had some kind of dispute with a company where it was miles or something like that, yeah, I'd say, okay, fuck it, I'm turning the truck in and I'm fucking coming back home. But no, it's just funny. It's funny. Like, so I'm saying, like, you go to a lot of people go to these forums and stuff about truck drivers and shit, and there's so much misinformation passed around, you know, about this will end your career, don't do that, it's bad for you, and this and that and this and that, you know, and how many, like I said, just I have a small resurgence of comments from that era of my YouTube and trucking career, And I'm still here. I'm still here saying, fuck you motherfuckers, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Go on back to the truckers report and fucking talk about, I don't know, fucking glory holes and truck stop bathrooms or whatever the fuck they talk about over there. Oh man, we got some fucking drama. Shit's pissing me off now. Alright, so I'm driving down the road, on my way to deliver this load into Twinsburg, and I get a phone call from my dispatcher. He asks me, what happened on Friday? What are you talking about, what happened Friday? He says, you only worked 4 hours. I'm like, what the fuck are you? I don't know what you're talking about, 4 hours. I drove from Columbus to Detroit, and then got loaded there, and then went back to the truck stop, went another half hour south back to the truck stop. And he says, well, yeah, you had like just under 6 hours on your clock when you stopped. You could have run the load to Twinsburg. I says, yeah, but then I'd have had to do a 10-hour break on the road and spill into Saturday. And he goes, yeah, well, he goes, I'm sorry, I hate to do this to you, but I'm going to have to give you a disciplinary action. I'm like, what, man? What the fuck is it? What are you talking about, disciplinary action? He says, yeah, I got to give you a 6-month probation period. Probation warning. I'm on probation for 9 fucking months. I'm like, I knew where this came from instantly. For the last several months, we've been hearing about this newer operations manager guy. And I says, oh man, it's this fucking guy, isn't it? This asshole. This is what it came from. He goes, yeah, it came from him. I says, I need to talk to him. I need to transfer me now. And he says, well, I can't transfer you now. He says, well, I'll tell him to call you. I says, all right. So he does call me. And he says, when I answer the phone, I says, yeah, what the fuck's going on, man? Why did I get a 9-month fucking probation disciplinary action for? And he goes, yeah, you could have ran the load. And I says, yeah, but I wasn't able to get back, being able to get back home. I says, yeah, I know I could have made it there. I could have. But this is something that I've always done on coke. I don't, And I was interrupted by a phone call. But anyway, back to this operations manager. He, I'm talking to him, and I'm like, what the fuck? What did I get this disciplinary action for? And he says, yeah, you could have delivered the load. I says, I know I could have delivered the load, but I wouldn't have been home. I'd had to take a 10-hour break out on the road. And he says, well, that's just what we need to do sometimes. I says, yeah, sometimes, okay, but I worked Saturday last week, but anyway, it doesn't matter what Saturday I work, and it doesn't matter. I don't give a fuck what it needs. I hired on. This is what the company told me when I hired on here. Is okay. I'm on this dedicated account on a particular fleet where I stay out. So I do stay out throughout the week. I'm not home every single day, and I understood that. I said that's fine, but the weekends they're mine. It doesn't matter if it's 12:01 a.m. I need to be at home for that, unless I agree to work on Saturday, which I did not agree to work on that Saturday. And technically, well, I'll show you guys right here. Boom, Twinsburg, Ohio. This is where I'm taking the load. Today is the 2nd. See, 23:45 means all-day appointment. The load delivers today. Today's Monday, not Friday, not Saturday. Today is Monday. And I try to explain to this guy, even my trip info says the load doesn't even need to be there till today. It's not like even my trip info said they needed this freight, hot freight or anything. It's I'm doing exactly what I was told to do in the first place. You're adding extra shit on, and he says, yeah, I know, but, this is something we need to adjust. I said, fucking, what are you talking about? I'm like, this is something you're making up. This is not, you're just being a fucking prick because you want all your drivers to utilize every single last fucking hour they have, even though it's not always possible to fulfill the requirements or the promises made by the company when we hired on. I need to be home on Saturday, plain and simple. That's why I got on this Coke account, was to be home more, have a more consistent home life. And he refused to remove the 9-month probationary period. So I'm like, of course I got pretty pissed off. Said some things to him, a couple curse things, and you know how I roll. But I said, well, fuck it. He's trying to defend his point. I'm like, you cannot defend your point. It's indefensible. The position I have is I'm home weekends unless I agree to be out, which I did not agree. And he still refused to remove the probationary period, which now really pisses me off, because normally I'm like, fuck it, not a big deal. But now that me and this guy's had a little bit of a scrape, it kind of feels like he's got this over my head now. If I'm on this probationary period, Any reason he wants, he could fire me for. Just get rid of me. So I told them, I'm like, well, fuck you. You know, put in your computer, I put in my 2-week notice, which is most likely a bluff. I don't want to leave this company. I mean, I don't want to leave the Coke account either, but, you know, worst case scenario is I transfer to regional or something else within the company. But, or actually, worst case scenario is I do leave because I don't want to have that 9-month probationary period hung over my head, even though you guys saw for yourself that load doesn't even deliver until today, and I'm still getting penalized for not running it 2 days ago? What kind of fucking bullshit is that? It's just this guy, I almost said his name. No, this operations manager. He's been on the account for a few months, and I think he got promoted from, I don't know, fucking janitor or something. And he got a little bit of power. Now his head's fucking so huge you probably can't even walk through a door. Think he's Mr. Big Dick within the company, you know. And he's just throwing around his power. So right now I'm working my way up the chain. I've talked to corporate. Now I'm getting channeled to someone higher up than him within the Coke account, and I hope they go into my computer and see that this load wasn't even due until today, and at least take off the 9-month probationary period. That's some fucking bullshit. Now I know a lot of drivers out there, they would just be like, oh, whatever. But I refuse to just sit down and eat shit when I did nothing wrong. You know what I mean? I'm gonna fight this, even if it does mean that I like this position, I like this job, but I'm not gonna be fucking bullied and pushed around by some fucking asshole in the office. If push comes to shove, I will leave. You know what I mean? This is I don't have the most experience in the industry, but 6 years with a clean record's enough to do whatever the fuck I want to do. I was even so pissed off earlier when all this first happened. I had stopped and I started looking at other jobs. I pretty much got 3 jobs lined up already, but I didn't tell either one of them I was coming for sure. But clean record, 6 years of experience. You know, I don't need this job. I like it and I want it. You know, this has been such a gravy account up until this scrape with this fucking asshole. But like I said, I mean, if this guy's in charge, I can only see this account going downhill quick. You know, I told him that, you know, from when I first hired on, the account has changed so damn much. You know, I mean, it's still good. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it's unbearable or anything, but they've clamped down, which we had room to clamp down on this account. It was when I first got on. It was pretty much the wild, wild fucking west. We did literally whatever we wanted to, and got paid for everything. Now I understand that to be profitable as a company, there has to be some rules and disciplinary action when something goes down. But when I do nothing wrong and I'm getting penalized for it, that don't sit well with me, and I don't think it sits well with anybody in the whole wide world. You're getting fucked over for doing nothing wrong. So we'll just see how this plays out. Like I said, I've calmed down a little bit since the initial phone call, but we'll see. We'll see. I'm not backing down from my position. I did nothing wrong, and I'm not going to be penalized for it. If they refuse to take off the 9-month probationary period, it may be time to look for a new job for me, just out of principle. Not that I think this is a terrible company. I think this one guy that I'm dealing with in particular is a fucking asshole, and being that he's in the office and I'm in a truck, he has the upper hand, and there's nothing I can do about that. Alright, I made it up here to Twinsburg, and I've calmed down a little bit. I talked to a couple of people a little higher on the totem pole, and they're going to look into the matter. And pretty much they're telling me, being that the trip information that I received says today is an open appointment for all day today to deliver this load, to go ahead and don't even worry about this probation thing. It's going to be lifted off of me. But officially it probably will happen tomorrow. It's because they want to look into it a little bit, which makes me feel better. And I did. I went and retracted the 2-week notice. You know, because I don't want to leave this company. Overall, this company's been really great to me, and even this account in particular. And even I started thinking, you know, I probably wouldn't even leave the company even if it didn't get resolved. I'd probably just make a move within the company, go to regional or something, or being that I do like this company, not that I would want to do this for too long of a period. Maybe even go back OTR for a few months, because and just see how long this individual, I'm gonna say his name again, on the Coke account stays in his current position. Because like I said, this is my first real run-in with this guy. I've heard other drivers complain about him, and I know he's generating a lot of complaint. And you know, being on this account for a year, and I mean, I've already had in this year like 6 dispatchers, and all the top people, the higher up in the account, have been shuffled around. So I'd probably just wait it out a little bit and see what happened with this guy anyway. While I was doing OTR regional or something, and then come back to this account, because I'm predicting he won't be but another 6 months at most on the account, or in the position he's in on this account anyway. But that's enough of that. We'll forget about that until we hear something a little further on from that, to something a little bit more on that issue. I did get down here. I delivered my load, and they did have a load going back up to Highland Park, Michigan, which was awesome. And actually, I'm going to deliver that and then go home, because then I have a 4:30 p.m. pickup out of Detroit tomorrow that goes down to Cincinnati, Ohio. So I'm hooked up to this trailer that goes up to Highland Park right now. I'm going to go pre-trip it, hook up the lines, slide the tandems around where they need to be and whatnot, and get it up the road. All right, I'm pulling out of Twinsburg, Ohio. And I'm not heading to Highland Park right now. I'm heading up the road a half mile to the shop. Because this trailer that I have has the exact same light problem that the trailer that I had last week did. It's the same model, Great Dane trailer. I'm wondering if this is something common with these. I hope it is, because if it's common, these mechanics will know what's wrong with it, and they'll be able to get me in and out of the shop, pending they're not terribly busy, really fast. That's what I'm hoping, at least, because I want to be home tonight. I was sitting at this shop for about 10 minutes. The mechanic came out, looked at the trailer, and he goes, "It's not a trailer, it's your truck." And I'm like, "I don't think so," because I had the exact same problem down in Indianapolis last week, and I dropped my trailer at our terminal. They pulled it into the shop. A few hours later, they came out and everything worked. I'm like, "It's the same exact thing." He goes, "No, it's the truck." I'm like, "All right, dude." So he goes under the hood and starts looking at fuses and stuff, and pulls out a burnt fuse. I'm like, "Holy shit." I was checking the fuses under the dash, and he goes, "Nope, these new Kenworths, they've got fuses under the hood and under the dash and everywhere." Obviously, brand new truck, got all kinds of electronics on this motherfucker. And he pushed a new fuse in, everything lit up like a Christmas tree. We're good to go down the road. I just wonder what the fuck our shop down in Indy did to that other trailer to make all those lights work. All right, time to get the fuck up the road. In and out of that place in like total 15 minutes. I don't think I've ever been in and out of a shop that fast before, ever. That mechanic who took care of the problem, I was like, "No, it's a trailer issue, man." Trying to tell them that however they fixed it at their terminal in Indy.
Feet, turn left on Highland Road.
Trying to explain to this guy, however they fixed the other trailer in Indy, they took the trailer in the shop. It wasn't on my truck. And he goes, "No." Like he jammed the new fuse in there. It worked. And he goes, "Yeah." He goes, "We've been seeing a whole lot of these new Kenworths with that issue." So this issue, it was a very common problem, just not with that model of trailer, but with the truck itself, that fuse. And little did I know, because there is it's labeled underneath the dash, trailer fuses for the trailer lights. I checked those before I went to the shop down in Indy last week, and all those were fine. But FYI, just a heads up, if your clearance lights on your trailer isn't working. And you know, the damnedest thing too was just on these Great Dane trailers, the clearance lights stopped working. We've got other models of trailers, and everything always worked fine. We got these brand new lightweight trailers. I forget, Wabash. I don't know. Everyone always gives me shit every time I say that trailer name because I don't say it correctly. Wabash trailers. I think that's what they are. All the lights work. Just these Great Danes that we have, the clearance lights did not work on. So probably just something differently wired inside the trailer itself. But whatever, that was cool. Problem was taken care of pretty much instantly. So I'm glad shit worked out the way it did. And I'm not gonna be sitting there all night or half the night and trying to make it to my delivery, struggling to get home tonight. So yeah, up the road we go. So I delivered that load to Highland Park, and I guess the moral of today's little drama with my company is don't act out of anger, I guess. You know, putting in my 2-week notice like that just out of the heat of the moment and then retracting it a couple hours later. Not a cool thing to do. I did. I acted inappropriately towards my company today, and I do regret doing that. But we all do shit out of anger sometimes that I'm sure we all regret. Now, I realized throughout my whole career, I think I even said it in a video before, that if you enjoy what you're doing with your company, you like your company overall, don't let one dickhead ruin that for you. And, I almost let that dickhead ruin this experience for me. But when I talked to my dispatcher today, he said that he didn't even know anything about it. So that guy I was dealing with, that I had the unpleasant experience with, he never even put in my 2-week notice. So I'm very, very happy with what I'm doing in this account and everything. This is way too gravy to give up, especially, and damn way too awesome to let one dickhead ruin it for me. So tomorrow I'll be vlogging again. I have a load going that picks up out of Detroit that goes down to Cincinnati, Ohio. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's vlog. If you did, hit that like button. And if you're not subscribed to my channel, go ahead and please subscribe, because it helps me out tremendously, and it'll let you know every time I make a new video. So thanks for watching, guys, and as always, run hard and get paid.